And start recording. Alright, so hello everyone and welcome to the 25th stream of Project 1000. Since I missed a few streams due to... And start recording. Oh, right, sorry. Today having a bit of a cold early this week, as well as this school trip. So right now I'm making up for it. So today's stream is commemorating the passing of Casimir IV Jagiellon, which recently had its 534th anniversary. Since it occurred in 1492. So we're going to continue the campaign we started on, I think it was June 1st. Yeah, June 1st, during the Władysław II Jagiellon stream. And fittingly, we're going to actually be playing as Casimir IV Jagiellon, so... That makes it more fitting. Alright, so... Oh, 2 or 3 people are watching. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Alright, I'll close this window so that the FPS is higher. And since the screen is loading, I'm going to open another chat on my phone. Alright, there we go. So last time we were able to, after after a very exhausting war, get Hungary into a personal union, since we had to contend with both Austria and Hungary. Interestingly enough, the Habsburgs would actually accept an alliance with us, which might be useful since the Habsburg have Bohemia as one of their rivals, and we don't have any goals in this region aside from gaining all of Bohemia. Though before anything, we might as well also add territorial interest all of these regions. Silesia. And all of Bohemia here. Since that's where the modern Polish border lays, and here we'll also add Bohemia, since it was one of the Jagiellonian realms. We currently have claims on a large part of it, but unfortunately not a personal union. And we can also choose an idea. The first idea group. We'll go for something in diplomatic, since before we end this campaign we'll probably want to integrate all of the Jagiellonian realms. And while Lithuania won't be an issue due to the decision, Hungary will. So probably going to go for influence ideas. Or diplomatic ideas. Let's see. Oh, here we have influence. Yeah, diplo annexation cost, so we're taking influence ideas. We're going to be mostly at peace at the moment. Actually can start the game already so that it can start playing while I do various tasks. We can create a center of trade in Lviv, although that won't be the best idea since we have several loans we need to 17 loans at the moment. And we'll start repaying a few of them. Alright, now we have 14. Let's also reduce our army maintenance and move our troops back to Poland. Moldavia is requesting to become a march. No, sorry. And we also have to increase army maintenance again. Let's gather in actually maybe Nowy Sącz. Oh, and we also have to go for the Byzantine separatists and Mahiljov. Oh, never mind, Lithuania's dealing with them already. Also, we'll continue this campaign tomorrow since it'll be the anniversary of the death of John I Olbrach on the 17th, but since Bolesław the Brave also died on the 17th, we won't be able to do both on the same day. Actually, funnily enough, John I Sobieski also died on the 17th of June. That stream will be on the stream about that and continuing the 1683 campaign will be on the 16th. Alright, and getting back to the campaign, we'll wait about a month until our morale goes all the way up. Alright, and it's January. And we're going to wait. We might get a crossing. Maneuver, we have Karl Ferdinand here with 3. That's a lot better than they have. So we can attack them with no crossing penalty. And then we can just reduce army maintenance and slowly retake bells. Oh, and hello Star Archers, welcome to the stream. Oh, we also will have to improve relations with Hungary, since they are really not the best at the moment. As well as Croatia. Also, I'm going to actually... The diet of the... Croatia joined Hungary, so... so that's one more diplomatic relation for us. Speaking of which, do we have... Yeah, we have strong duchies. So let's see, the diet of the Hungarian and Croatian nobility. The Croatian and Hungarian nobility have come together in an impromptu diet, during which it was agreed upon that the two kingdoms, having been governed together under a personal union for decades, should henceforth be considered as one, so that they can present a unified front toward the Polish overall. So that they can present a unified front towards the Polish overlords. The Kingdom of Croatia has therefore been annexed by that of Hungary. Alright then. You can also seize land. We have these... Oh, right, we don't have good relations with the clergy. Oh, and we have to improve relations with the all-powerful Ulm. We also, we've also retaken bells. So for the moment we're going to mothball all forts. And I would concentrate on Diplo, but I think that will make us really get behind on military, since Casimir isn't the best. Isn't the best in no mana. Oh, and let's see what we have here. The Feast of the Pheasant. The Bulgarian Duke has called together all of his friends and allies to a grand feast where he, in better between all manner of lavish entertainments, appeared to all before him for a fresh crusade against the Ottoman Empire. Those presents were left bedazzled by the splendor of the feast, and amid the many barrels of Burgundy's finest that were drunk, the appetite for war did seem to increase. It remains to be seen, however, whether this enthusiasm will last into the. It remains to be seen, however, whether this enthusiasm will last into the morning after. So we'll see what happens. We can also get tribute systems. And how are we doing when it comes to Diplotech? We're 8 years ahead, so we can easily take it. And for people who are currently watching, welcome everyone. Let's see, what can we do now? Maybe repaying a loan, since I think we can... oh. Make sure it's one of the ones with more interest, which expires quicker, so let's go with this one. We've got 13 rounds, so we'll have to be we'll have to wait it out at the moment. Let's see, maybe you can try something diplomatically. Oh, and competent cousin. Reforms have been taken, useless ministers and advisors fired. The army and navy have never been better. It seems that our cousin is serving our subject state well, ruling with a firm hand and making competent decisions. Which... oh, I'm guessing this is just a random event. And we get some diplomacy. That will be useful if we want to form alliances. Maybe we'll do one with Austria, especially since they have a Bohemia rival. Currently earning 5 ducats per month, which on average would mean we're getting 60 per year, meaning that we can repay a debt, repaying one loan in more or less 2 years. And how many loans total can we have? 46. So we mostly just have to wait it out, I think. Maybe repay all of the loans to the burghers, and then we'll take a new indebted to the burg. Does that make sense? Maybe actually take a few more loans, rebuild the army and go to war with Bohemia. I don't want to bore you all too long. Oh, and we can make a core in Georgia, since we also took over Wallachia. Now that I think of it, we probably should have turned it into a puppet. But then again, we almost have all of our diplo slots filled up, so maybe not. Alright, and we can set up one more rival, which will be Muscovy. We can also... no point to send them a scornful insult. Let's issue an embargo there, as well as one against the Ottomans, as soon as our diplomat returns. Oh, and out of curiosity, I'll check what this is. much will our army cost us? It isn't worth it, since that will cost us more monthly upkeep than it's worth. Maybe we can do something here. Since we're not doing anything interesting, we might as well request for a few maps at the moment. Guess we can. Oh, we'll lose 15 prestige, right? Profiteering in Buzau. The citizens of Buzau have grown tired of the local influence of the greedy passenger merchants that they claim are using unfair advantages to outcompete local businesses. They demand that we step up to limit the influence of foreign traders on the area and reaffirm the privileges of our own merchants and artisans. If we do not act, they might take matters in their own hands. Let's see, so we can either... So we either lose... so we either make Passau hate us, which isn't really that bad, and lose goods produced, which is only livestock, or lose 25% trade power and to local unrest. The first option is better. And we still have a bit until our until we can start up next bait. And we'll probably also at least wait until our war exhaustion reaches 0. And if necessary, I might reduce it by 1. Let's see, we can also pass a reform. So I'll quickly check the influence of the Schlachter. It's 81 at the moment, so if we take strength and noble privileges, we'll just be we might risk a takeover from them. So I'll take curtail noble privileges for the plus 15 national tax modifier. Oh, and it seems like the Renaissance is spreading. Let's see here. How long till it reaches Crackle or Poznan? Seems like it's got 30% on Krakow. It already started spread to Danzig. So we might have it by in maybe like 10 to 15 years. We also might need to rebuild our army, since the last war was stack wipe uh, we had to set up a makeshift force. And we can also enable army drilling. So we can create another army of... Oh! And perfect timing, since the Teutons started a war with Danzig. In that case, I'll have to do this further away from the border. Let's go ahead and take maybe one loan. We can do it, so... yeah, as far as possible, so Podola. And let's see what it says. So, the Prussian Confederation seeks Polish support. An organization calling itself the Prussian Confederation has risen up against the injustice of Teutonic rule, and have rallied an army in Danzig. We have previously given its members quiet assurances that we will support their cause should it come to an open war. In exchange, the Confederation has agreed that the Prussian lands should be ruled by Poland after the tyrannical knights have been expelled. We have much to gain from this arrangement, but we should be prepared for a bloody struggle. So, of course, we're going for the first option. They shall have our full support. To battle! Oh, and we also have to activate all forts and stop drilling our armies. Oh, and we got the call to arms. And luckily Denmark didn't join in the war. Now we have to wait a bit until our armies are fully at full morale. And soon the maybe Hungary probably might not support us since we're still disloyal. Yeah, they have quite high liberty desire. And will decide on their own strategies. But overall, we'll go to support. Oh, right, that was before, because I didn't have one set. So we'll ask them to play support overall. And I guess we have to join in since a battle's broken out between the two. Oh. Now let's also see the stats. Military, army quality comparison, and war enemies and war allies. When it comes to armies, oh, we have the best one! And also discipline comparable with the Teutons. So in that case, let's not through there, since that will include the crossing. Oh, seems that we have to go through. Oh, and production research flawed. The new techniques in our production are rumored to be flawed, and several leading nobles argue that we should discard them and go back to the old and tried methods instead. So they must be right, ignore them, or our spy master dies. Alright then, so since we can easily replace him with a statesman. And we don't really need any political... Alright, sorry, we don't need to fabricate any claims at the moment. Let's also attempt to attack the two towns in Marienburg, which has farmland. Some of our diplomats have been implicated in a major espionage operation. Now every ambassador or emissary we send is suspected of being a spy and is subject to the harshest examinations when they end their appointed missions. It will take time to restore our reputation, so our onward travel time will increase. Alright, so let's go ahead and attack the Teutons at Marienburg. And we unfortunately renewed the loan. And a few more. And we're going to pursue the Teutons to Austria. Oh, and take Cologne for ourselves as well. The levy. In time, many of the everyday occurrences in the life of our Grand Duke and his predecessors has become the subject of ceremony. Being able to attend the bedroom of the ruler as he dresses, for instance, is considered by many. I'll put this event to the side, but not to block the date. So where were we? Being able to attend the bedroom of the ruler as he dresses, for instance, is considered by many to be one of the best ways to gain the ear of the Grand Duke. An elaborate court life will certainly limit the power of our nobles to plot against us in the countryside properties, but it could also prove quite expensive. Denying them the right to be part of the daily life of our Grand Duke denying them the right to be part of the daily life of our Grand Duke entirely, on the other hand, would also limit their influence, but the Szlachta would likely resent it. So which one are we going for? We're gonna go for elaborate court life. Let's see. But we currently do have quite a few loans. It's only one loan, so I think we can afford it. Conflicts and protests over taxes, landlord cruelty, expropriation, serfdom, and customs policies have become quite frequent. If we don't manage to solve the problem soon, the consequences for our nation's stability could be dire. Alright, so we unfortunately have to go in depth further and try to improve the situation. I think. Since how much wool? Or we could technically improve. I think the stability is worth more than 58 ducats, so let's go for the latter option. And we also might as well increase stability to 3. We also made a core in Severin. And right now we're only core in Churchill. And we occupied Kulm. So right now we're going to aid Danzig in sieging Malbork and send our other army to siege Ostrud. And we also can take standard pikes. Let's go for it. So we are a bit behind on military tech. Oh right, and the Livonian orders in the war as well. In that case, let's refocus our efforts to Polotsk and prevent them from taking the city. We also do have a better unit in Eastern Militia. Sorry, and we're going to take it since that's just a better version of the previous ones. Though we will have to wait a bit until our morale goes up again. And luckily the Livonians for some reason went away from Poland and then returned. And the siege of Marienburg is progressing quite well, although we did lose Kulm. Oh, and since Danzig doesn't have a clay on it, let's go ahead here and select oh, we already have an interest in Kulm. Unfortunately, Danzig is the one who's leading this war. Otherwise, we might have been able to also get something from the Livonian Order. Oh, and we have to aid Hungary. Pronto. Or maybe it wasn't that bad, since they did have advantage against the Livonians. And let's go ahead and try to take Dinneberg. And I'm going to quickly mute myself for a bit. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. And alright, the audio is connected. So it seems like we'll take the Danzig any moment now. And the Titans sent one infantry regiment and are currently trying to siege Krakow. Oh, and I think Lithuania will try and Lithuania will try to defeat them here. And that's a victory at Krakow. Lithuania is currently besieging Danzig, which will turn the war score in our favor, since we're currently losing a lot from not controlling it. But also from the defeat at Ostrud. Sorry. Oh, and we're still sieging. The Titans are currently retreating to Livonia. Oh, and it seems like Mecklenburg's in the war. Luckily Denmark isn't. Oh, and we had to take another loan. So it's best if we end this war as quickly as possible. Oh, and Marienburg was taken after 404 days. We'll have to extend this loan, since otherwise we just have to take another loan. And we're going to probably siege Ostrud, or actually try and deal with this Mecklenburgian army first. Let's see, doesn't Lithuania have... Oh, yeah, I think Lithuania might have claims here? Let's see. Close this. Never mind. They only have claims on parts of Prussia. And prospering times. Casimir has become renowned for our country's artistic achievements and blossoming economy. Artists, philosophers, and poets are flocking to Krakow. The thriving economy has allowed extensive artistic funding. Several fine architectural buildings are being erected and beautiful gardens are built to demonstrate our country's wealth. And many members of our new intellectual elite have ideas on how to improve various parts of our country. So let's see, what do you want to choose? You can either invest in urban infrastructure, production methods, or rural infrastructure. Knuckle. They have livestock, so production won't be the best. So either urban infrastructure or rural infrastructure. But that'll pump up Nakło to one of, yeah, to the level of Poznan in development. Oh, never mind, I thought that was free fires, but still it will be on the level above Lublin and Nowy Sącz. So let's go for a better urban infrastructure. Yeah, it's the same as Nowy Sącz. Okay, we also took Letgalan, which will transfer to Lithuania. And move to Venden in that case. Oh, and since the Mecklenburg's army isn't there anymore, we'll go back north and siege Ostrud. We gained the core in Georgia, but we're not going to make it a state. Right, so this mission is locked. And we took Vanden, which will also transfer to Lithuania, and Dorpat, which will also transfer to Lithuania. Now let's go ahead and try and attack the army in Revel, which is grassland. And Lithuania joined us, so we'll easily be able to defeat them. Now we're sieging Revel, but actually before that, we're going to try and pursue the Livonians. They're probably going to be in, yeah, in Metal. Before we're going to change Merszczyński for Beniowski. Would that be enough? Oh, we actually... Alright, with Merszczyński. since I was worried that we'll get a river crossing. But the general has no maneuver. Alright, so our merchants are suffering. We'll list it in Diplo. And also go ahead and, since Livonia is sieging Raffle, we will start sieging Leafland. Oh, where the Livonians retreated to. And we are able to stack work them. Our truce from Milan expired. And we can convert province to Catholicism. We'll go with Przemyśl and slowly the country is becoming more religiously unified. Alright, improvements in production technology. We've also taken Ostrud. So Danzig's already taking Koln. So we'll go ahead and redirect to Leafland, I suppose. There are reports of farmers and miners being more productive than local officials expect them to be. We should investigate if there is something that the entire nation of Poland could benefit from. We're gonna go for the last option. We get quite a bit of admin power. These sieges might take a while. Let's see, Hungary is currently besieging Mecklenburg. This war is already as good as won. And we can also take additional loyals recruitment. And since it's still a few years until it's ahead of time, and since we're still a few years ahead of time, we can take it. It will also reduce the liberty desire with Hungary, since that was in yellow previously. So Danzig will take Mittal. And since we aren't using our diplomats for anything at the moment, let's go ahead and here. Let's go with neighboring countries. Put it all in neighboring countries. Just improve relations with them. Oh, and Mecklenburg is also besieging Krakow. We'll send one of our armies there too. Actually, Lithuania is already dealing with this, so no need. And seems like Catholic zealots spread to Mitau. Oh, and Danzig ended up giving us coal. So Lithuania won at Krakow. Wait. Oh, I think the Teutonic Order decided to unconditionally surrender. So that's the war over with. Though we did suffer quite large casualties. Mostly the attrition. I need to pay more attention to that. So we gained Culm. Lithuania gained both Tartu and Daug Pilis. And the Teutons had to give over Helmut to us, and these lands to Danzig, effectively stopping, effectively destroying it, and they paid 41 ducats, which we gained most of, but it isn't that much. Let's see, we can also complete a mission. The Prussian Confederation. Let's go with it. And the event, the Peace of Thorn, just fired. The war against the Teutonic Knights has finally come to the end. Casimir sits at the peace table with the leaders of the Prussian Confederation and raises a glass to the toast of our mutual victory and future cooperation. The treaty is signed quickly and with confidence. The rights and privileges of the Prussian towns, townships, clergy, burghers, and knights shall be preserved, and the cause they fought for recognized as a just struggle against autocracy. Over time, the cities of the Confederation will be fully incorporated into the Crown of Poland. So we can either be benevolent or get the West Prussia area ceded to us. So this one. And we'll go for the latter option. And Danzig reformed into Ducal Prussia. Although with Armland here, since historically it wasn't ruled by them. And formalized the separation of powers. Let's see. By enacting a limited constitutional reform, defining and delimiting the offices and branches of government and their internal relations, we can increase our administrative efficiency as well as public approval of our still obviously divinely ordained rule. Alright, so that will give us plus 0.5 yearly prestige and parliament debate, 3% parliament debate backing chance. And we'll have to also core helm now. Alright, and we'll also add West Prussia as the state. And we don't have to core anything. We also have two little diffusees in Parliament by this point. So we'll be giving one to Gdańsk. And is that enough? Yes. Let's see. So we still have a claim on Tolku. We aren't going to use it at the moment. Anything happening here? Alright, we have to have our army return to Poland. And also lower army maintenance. And much more force. Which will increase our total monthly income to 5.85. We'll also check our trade. So we have 39 in Krakow. Now we can also start collecting from... Actually, we don't have that many merchants, so it's probably more profitable to concentrate on Pest and Kiev, since we have more influence there. Let's see, does Lithuania have any claims to the east? Since we're not doing anything at the moment again, I'm going to check through their missions. So the Polish succession. Let's see, befriend the Cossacks. And stabilize the interior. Alright, so they still haven't done it, these two. And I'll be back in about half a minute or so. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Oh, and Denmark took this region. So we might have that goal. Of expanding maybe east right now. Maybe taking like the region of Rizan, which was historically the subject of Lithuania at this time. in Moscow, giving it to Lithuania, which will later become their core, and will have more territory when we eventually annex them. Alright, so Austria won't be coming to their aid. We also might actually try and form an alliance with them to get them on our side. Oh, and bartering increases. While the poor state of the Polish currency is becoming even more troubling for us, the common people have started to look to other solutions. Many are growing wary of the use of money and avoid it whenever possible, reverting to old means of trade, like the barter system. Like the barter system. Perhaps their concerns are misplaced, but if we don't act swiftly, we may lose our grip on the economy and the country itself. Alright, so we'll go for the second option, losing admin power for the inflation. Can actually do it one more time to decrease it further. And we have too many declarations. I thought we had 6. Alright, we do have 6 slots, it's just that Duke of Prussia is currently a vassal, or vassal by this point. I mean, a new vassal. So we'll have to unfortunately break this alliance with Austria since we have our royal marriage with Burgundy. And let me quickly see the audio. Alright, it seems to be well working. I'll quickly check the quality. Alright, so go for the second option, using inflation. Alright, so maybe let's see. So the audio does seem to be a bit more quiet. Alright, I think it's okay. Yeah, alright. So we'll reject this royal marriage and instead concentrate on alliance with Burgundy by currying favors with them. It seems like Burgundy has an heir. Let's see. We still don't have 100 relations at all. let's recall one of our diplomats here. And maybe give them a gift. Rigorous researchers. Academic institutions are not immune from corruption. And the profits that can be made by abusing positions of greed. Academic institutions are not immune to corruption, and the influence that can be made by abusing a position of great influence can stand in the way of creating a good environment for research. However, Polish scientists are largely above this, focusing on genuine intellectual achievement. I'll put this aside. However, Polish researchers are largely above this, focusing on genuine intellectual achievement above titles and financial contributions. The lack of corruption in society allows us to explore and invent without being impaired by selfish interests. So we get a bit of points in all of the categories. And let's see, the question of rise. A subject of ours currently holds lands to which we have claim. If we were to claim this province for ourselves, they would undoubtedly regard us with contempt and distrust. On the other hand, they would be in no position to stop us from taking control of the area on the other hand, they would be in no position to stop us from taking control of the area if we wish it to be so. So we can gain. Oh, this is the one where we can gain Ireland. But do we want the province? We can gain the region. Alright, it's only 70 relations, so not that bad. Gain the historical borders. And there's also Cordes. Alright, I wanted to send a gift to Ulm. Not Ingolstadt, Ulm. Alright, so let's go to economic, actions and... Alright, so we can do that. Alright, so we're going to offer a quick guarantee, which gives us 100 relations, completing that agenda, and we're going to revoke that guarantee in a month. But first, we got a new event, Agricultural Revolution. We have managed to increase our agricultural production in Winchitsa by implementing new farming techniques for plantations, irrigation, and land property organizations, and thereby bringing higher tax to our state. So let's go with... our manufacturers will benefit. And another event, simony. We have a vacancy in the high position in the church administration of Krakow. There is a churchman from a rich family who has made an offer. If we approve and back his election to the position, we will gain a large contribution to our coffers. Some more devout people. Wait, these events are currently firing left and right. Some more devout people claim that this is a sin called simony, but what do they know? Alright, why not? We do have a money problem at the moment. We also revoked that guarantee. Alright, and let's see. Foreign trade competition rises. Foreign merchants are increasingly outcompeting Polish traders in our ports, flooding markets with cheap goods produced elsewhere. This is making it difficult for traders to make a living. They have come before the Grand Duke to propose a new tariff on foreign goods, which would help us protect them from competition from abroad. Alright, that will give us free mercantilism and plus and 10 loyalty with the burgers. We can also summon the diet again and facilitate Volgast, pay off national debt. Let's go and build a house of worship in Krakow. So our debt is quite large. Right, let's see. We have 16 nodes at the moment. Let's go ahead and lower our inflation further, and maybe pay off like 2. Alright, so we're currently gaining 8 ducats per month. We can increase this further by replacing our current theologian with a treasurer. Yeah, so let's go for that. And national epic, where subjects have taken to telling tales and legends about an old ruler. The legend says that in Poland's darkest hour, he will return to our nation and deliver it from evil. Regardless of the truth in that statement, we could use this in our propaganda. Alright, so it could make a good story. Or no. Yeah, we'll go for it since that won't result in a loan. And we have the historical borders of Poland in this period. Well, I guess historically Rafa would be integrated into Poland soon. And so is Bells from what I recall. Oh, and we can also start a new debate in the same, since it's already 1465. Let's see, which one are we going for? We are currently going to annex any of our fastest, I think. So let's see. Let's go with contribute to government debt payment, since that will give us the most national tax modifier, as well as all these other modifiers, including interest per annum and yearly inflation reduction. So we can go ahead and revert a government progress, appeasing Gdańsk, and that already got it passed. Let's see how much we have after a tick. We're making 10.3 ducats. So quite a decent amount. Oh, and we can also, I should have done this sooner, a concentrate development from Wallachia. Which grants us more development in Krakow. How are we doing when it comes to the Renaissance? It's currently spreading in here and in northern Poland. Surprisingly enough, Vilna already has it, and so does the region of modern-day Podlasia. Hungary has it as well. Oh, and we also have a Hungarian noble revolt in Zemplan, and a popular noble in Poland. One of our most gracious nobles has returned from a tour, where he regaled foreign courts with stories of our grandeur, not to mention spending handsomely out of his own pocket. Spending handsomely out of his own pocket. Only a great land could create such a welcome guest. And to gain some diplomatic reputation and harmful trade policies. The interests of prominent merchant households are being held by our repressive trade policies towards other countries. The burghers support these families and have now petitioned us to compensate them by at least opening up some other restrictions on trade to compensate for their loss of income. So let's see which option we go with. Yeah, definitely the first one, so it gives us trade efficiency as well as increased relations with the burghers. Oh, we still haven't got the best relations with the clergy. We can't seize land, or else a rebellion will likely break out. We're still carrying Varmia. Oh, and the Russians have attacked the Livonian Order. Oh, we can't intervene in this war. So Muscovy will unfortunately take most of the region. So what hour is it? It's already it's already half past, so I think we'll be ending soon. We still do something here. Oh, we can invest in a new idea. We still haven't embraced the Renaissance, so it will cost more. So we're going for integrated elites, which will give us minus 25 diplo annexation cost. And that's that, I think. Yeah. So before I end, I might provide a bit of history about Casimir IV, and it's supposed to be a stream commemorating his death, but beforehand I'll take a quick water break, so be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, for some history. Alright, so historically, Casimir IV was the third son of Władysław Jagiellon, since the first one was Władysław III, then Casimir, who died soon after his birth, and then Casimir IV. Władysław Jagiellon also had another child, Bonifacja, with Jadwiga, but she also died soon after her birth, as did Jadwiga. So from what I remember, he was born in 1428. Yeah, since when he took over as Grand Duke of Lithuania, he was 12. It was following the death of Zygmunt Kęstutovich. Or how was it in English? After the deaths of Zygmunt Kęstutis in 1440. following which there was a large threat that the Polish-Lithuanian Union would break apart, because there were several other candidates, which included Świdrik Jagiellon, the youngest brother of Władysław Jagiellon, who was also responsible for the civil war with between the two states during between 1430 and 1432. So getting back to Casimir, so he ruled Lithuania for a few years, during which Władysław III also took the throne of Hungary, and then went on campaign against the Ottomans, dying at Varna, which will be somewhere around here. Then an interregnum period came to Poland, since and fierce negotiations started between Casimir and the Polish nobility, which wanted more privileges. But ultimately, Casimir won out and was able to actually reduce and was actually able to renegotiate the Polish Union on more equal grounds. Next up, he also tried to strengthen his power within the state, notably often going against the church, especially as well as the nobility. But sorry, lost my train of thought. And eventually, he would offer support to the Prussian Confederacy, which was formed from what I remember. From what I remember, it was formed after the Golem War and wait a second. Never mind, I can't find the exact directive at the moment. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was after the Gulf War. Afterwards, the war would still want to wrap for quite a while, until 1454, when the 13 Years' War started, and Poland supported the Prussian Confederacy. However, surprisingly, early on, Poland actually ended up losing some battles, such as the Battle of Chojnice in 1454. But eventually their overmight and the Teutonic Orders proved that you could call it like a last stand, since technically this would be their last great showing in combat, and it took 12 years to win the war. Ultimately, such cities as Malbork was ultimately was ultimately bought by Casimir from the Czech garrison which was guarding it. And Poland eventually started winning. Wait a second. Let me just quickly check something to make sure. But they eventually started winning battles, such as the Battle of the battles of Bornholm, as mentioned, the Siege of Malbork, and the Battle of Święcino. And of the Vistula Lagoon. Then came the second piece of thorn in 1466, where Poland gained Isla, where Poland regained access to the sea, as well as gained cities such as Malbork and Varmia, although these regions did hold quite a bit of autonomy. But afterwards there was also another war, which I'm pretty sure it was called Bishop War, or oh, how was it in English? Never mind, War of the Priests, right? Which lasted from 1467 to 1479, and that was a more low, and that conflict was at a lower scale. But it eventually ended with the Grand Masters and the Bishop recognizing Casimir IV. Next up, Casimir's actions abroad. So he attempted to get his eldest son Władysław Jagiellon on the throne of Bohemia, but which resulted in a war with Hungary, which ultimately took over the regions of the regions of Moravia, Silesia, as well as I'm pretty sure Lusatia as well. Basically most of Bohemia. However, Władysław didn't hurt the front there. I'll quickly check out what they... Generally, I'm not the most familiar in this period of Polish history. So, he took the throne of Bohemia in 1471, and then following the death of Matthias Corvinus, he took the throne of Hungary. Although there was a conflict between him and his younger brother John I Albert, who would later become the King of Poland in 1492. Which resulted in a small battle in northern Slovakia, which John Albert ultimately lost, but he did gain... Oh right, first off, there was some sort of agreement where John Albert would stop pursuing his claim over Hungary and let Władysław take over. And he was getting some sort of small Dutch in the north, but then there was another conflict, and from what I remember, he gained control of and John Albert lost, and ultimately gained control of Głogów, from what I remember. And now let's quickly dive into another matter, that being how Casimir influenced the state. As you've probably seen during the campaign, there were several times it showed Polish economic growth, which since Poland prospered during his reign, especially following the takeover of Gdańsk. Poland regained access to the sea, which significantly increased the economy through trade. He also took over integrated the Duchy of Rawa, since historically Mazovia wasn't unified all the time, but divided into a few smaller duchies. Sometimes it was fully united, sometimes it became divided, sometimes it was co-ruled. And bells came from... it was originally a gift to a local duke by Władysław Jagiellon, so that's why Mazovia owns bells at the start of EU4. Let's see, is it... Alright, so... Oh, and one more thing about Casimir IV. He also... right. He also had to give the Szlachta a few privileges due to the 13 Years' War. notably giving up on his right to call up levies uh, and in case of a war, and instead local Seims had to be consulted first. So I think that's more of or less everything when it comes to that. I'll save the game, go to the start menu, and we'll still discuss about more, and I'll still talk about the general impact of Casimir's reign. Seems this will take a while. And it seems like the game is a bit buggy by this point, so let's just close it. And open YouTube. So, since I'm going to check up on my tier list here, if we go a bit back, further back, still a bit. Alright, it's here. So as you can see here, on my tier list, Casimir IV is right above Władysław Jagiellon. It might seem a bit odd, but both of them were good rulers and ruled for long periods of time. Władysław Jagiellon from 1385 to 1434, so 49 years, and Casimir IV ruled from 1447 to 1494, 92, so 45 years. So some of the longest ruling monarchs in Polish history, with Władysław Jagiellon being the longest ruling, and it's Casimir being, I'm pretty sure, either on second place or tied for it with Sigismund IV the Vasa. Or actually, never mind. Sigismund the third was in second, so Casimir the fourth was in third. But still a long reign. But I digress. We're getting off topic. So I put him in this position since while Władysław II did establish the polish-lithuanian union, he did make several mistakes ultimately, such as despite the successes and this sorry, I can't get my point probably across. So despite the successes he had against the Teutons, such as the Grunwald, he wasn't able to get any territory from them aside from Samogitia, especially since he had to also deal with Sigismund of Luxembourg, who also constantly flip-flopped in relations, sometimes being positive with him, sometimes not. He was also able to establish a positive relationship with his cousin Witold, with him with Władysław holding the position of King of Poland and following 1404. Also, I'm pretty sure the position of, I'm pretty sure in English it would be the greatest Duke of Lithuania, while Witold held the position of Grand Duke of Lithuania. Oh. Yes. So he kept good relations within the Union and strengthened it further. Although by the end though after the death of Witold it started becoming more Polish-centric, especially after the civil war with Jagiellon, which was a whole political mess, especially since Władysław Jagiellon was imprisoned for a bit in Lithuania. But overall he was a good ruler, strengthening the nation politically and internally. Just he did make a few small mistakes.